Hello and welcome to Wednesday night's football review. We're going to talk about one win down in the Premier League, in the League One fixture, La Liga, and also in the cup fixtures in Germany and Italy. Let's analyze each of these games together. Over in Turf Moor in the Premier League between Burnley and Manchester City, Burnley nil, Manchester City 1, as Erling Haaland winner sends Guardiola's men top. Erling Haaland's fifth-minute goal proved the difference as Man City beat Burnley to nudge in front of Arsenal at the summit. Man City moved top of the Premier League table for the first time since August with a narrow 1-0 victory at Burnley that relegated Scott Parker's side. On a significant night at both ends of the table, City followed up their home win over Arsenal with another Erling Haaland-inspired triumph to still ahead of the title rivals on goals scored alone. Haaland, who netted the winner against Arsenal, quickly put City in front, although the anticipated further goals did not follow in a frustrating, if ultimately successful outing for the visitors. Ryan Cherky and Haaland both hit the frame of the goal, while Nico O'Reilly had a trio of presentable opportunities to add to the scoreline and City's razor-thin advantage at the summit. Meanwhile, defeat for Burnley confirmed their demotion back to the Championship after a single season, still 13 points shy of 17th place West Ham United with only 4 matches remaining. The Clarets were toothless in attack and relied on Martin Dubravka to keep the scoreline respectable at the other end, but could yet have further role to play in the title race as they must go to Arsenal, on whom there is considerable pressure as City hit the front. City had not led the Premier League since the first week of the season, with Champions League Liverpool the early season contenders before Arsenal claimed the top spot for 201 consecutive days. The consequence was ended on Wednesday, however, even if a wasteful City performance ensured the margins at the top could scarcely be tighter. City scored just once from 28 chances worth combined 3.54 expected goals, with Dubravka the Burnley star performer of the season, at least ensuring they did not go down without a fight as he made 8 saves. Arsenal might be grateful to the Burnley goalkeeper for his efforts, but City are still right where they want to be. They have never failed to go on and win the Premier League title, having led the table after 33 games or more. Full-time score: Burnley nil, Man City 1. City top of the table, and Burnley relegated. And now we move to Spain La Liga fixture between the league leaders Barcelona and Celta de Vigo. Full-time score: Barcelona 1, Celta Vigo 0, as Yamal scores but gets injured in a narrow victory. Although Barcelona moved 9 points clear of Real Madrid again, there will be concerns around Lamine Yamal's injury against Celta Vigo. Lamine Yamal was forced off with an injury after scoring the winner in Barcelona's 1-0 victory over Celta Vigo. The 18-year-old scored from the penalty spot in the 14th minute before appearing the clutch his hamstring immediately after the goal, which sent the Blaugrana back 9 points clear of Real Madrid at the top of La Liga. A hectic start at Camp Nou saw Yamal fire narrowly wide after just 9 seconds before Pablo Duran forced a save from Juan Garcia 31 seconds later. Ferran Hugia squandered a golden opportunity for the visitors in the 15th minute, shooting a high and wide with his weaker foot after being played through on goal by Hugo Alvarez on the counter. Yamal then won a penalty shortly before halftime, drawing a foul from Joel Lago before dispatching a spot kick into the bottom right corner despite Lonos Radu diving the right way. With the goal scorer off the pitch, the second half was far quieter by comparison, although Ferran Torres saw a goal disallowed for offside shortly before the hour mark. This was a nervy victory for Barcelona, whose 10 shots were worth a combined 1.23 expected goals to Celta's 6 attempts of and 1.41 xG, with the visitors failing to find the clinical touch. Barcelona took one of only two big chances to maintain the longest active scoring streak, which is 52 matches, so 137 goals, in the top 5 European leagues and their longest in the competition since October 2013, which is 64 matches and 198 goals. Yamal, meanwhile, has scored 16 goals in La Liga since 2025-26 season. David Villa in 2010-11, which is 18, is the only Spanish player to score more league goals for Barcelona in a single season since the turn of the century. Full-time score once again, Barcelona 1, Celta Vigo 0. And now let's take a look over in Italy in the Coppa Italia semi-final second leg between Atalanta and Lazio, which ended after extra time with a 3-3 aggregate, and Lazio advanced to the final of the Coppa Italia with 2-1 penalty score, as Motta's penalty heroics and Sarri's side into the Coppa Italia final. Atalanta controlled the long periods of their Coppa Italia semi-final second leg, but they would ultimately pay the penalty against Lazio. Lazio will play Inter in the season's Coppa Italia final after Eduardo Motta heroics secured a dramatic victory over Atalanta on penalties. Motta made 4 saves during the shootout for Maurizio Sarri's side, who prevailed 2-1 after a 1-1 draw at the New Balance Arena, left after the semi-final tie level at 3-3 on aggregate. As both sides struggled to impose their authority from the second leg, Atalanta thought they had edged ahead in the tie just after the hour mark. Ederson tapped in after Nikola Kristovic had stolen the ball from Motta, but a VAR review ruled the goalkeeper had 2 hands on the ball before he was dispossessed. Lazio took the lead against the run of play in the 84th minute when Alessio Romagnoli volleyed home from Matteo Zaccagni's corner. The advantage lasted just 2 minutes though, with Mario Pasalic slotting home an equalizer for the hosts. Motta made a superb save from Gianluca Scamacca's header to force extra time, while a VAR review denied Giacomo Raspadori a winning goal as the tie headed for penalties. Motta then took center stage during the shootout, in which just 3 of the 9 penalties taken were converted. The goalkeeper kept out Scamacca, Davide Zappacosta, Pasalic, and Charles de Ketelaere as the Bianconeri progressed. Lazio are through to the first Coppa Italia final since they most recently lifted the trophy 7 years ago. That was despite Atalanta controlling long periods of the 120 minutes. Ladia, who had 66.2% of possession, registered a 2.11 expected goals total from their 29 shots, compared to the visitors' 0.78 from their 8 attempts, only one of which was on target. Atalanta also attempted 830 passes during normal and extra time, the highest total by any team in a single match during this season's Coppa Italia, which ended with Lazio victory and advanced to the Coppa Italia final, which 1-1 scoreline, and on penalties, Lazio won 2-1, and they progress to face Inter in the Coppa Italia final. From the Coppa Italia tournament in the Italy's cup fixture, we now move to the Germany's cup fixture called DFB Pokal semi-final between Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern München, which ended with a Bayern win, Bayern 2, Leverkusen 0, as Kane and Diaz booked place in the DFB Pokal final. Harry Kane scored his 7th goal of the season's DFB Pokal as Bayern Munich defeated Leverkusen to progress into the final. Bayern Munich remained on course to complete the treble after booking their place in the DFB Pokal final with a 2-0 win over Bayer Leverkusen. Goals from Harry Kane and Luis Diaz, with the difference at Bayer Arena for the Bundesliga champions, who will play either Stuttgart or Freiburg in the showpiece, their first since 2020. Dio Pamecano shot narrowly over early on, while Mark Flecken came to the host's rescue by thwarting Diaz and Kane. However, the England captain was not to be denied midway through the half, firing into the roof of the net from a Jamal Musiala cutback. Flecken continued to keep Leverkusen alive in the third successive DFB Pokal semi-final. The goalkeeper kept out Kane and Diaz, while Robert Andrich also cleared off the line from the latter. Diaz finally put the tie to bed in the third minute of second half stoppage time. The former Liverpool forward clipped the ball past Flecken from Leon Goretzka's square pass, but the goal eventually awarded following a VAR review after it was initially ruled out for offside. The England captain set Bayern on their way to victory with his 7th goal of the season's DFB Pokal. It was the most by any player in the single edition of the competition for 7 years, since Robert Lewandowski also hit 7 in 2018-19. Thomas Muller, which is 8 in 2013-14, is the only player to be better that in the 21st century. Bayern needed the late goal to secure the victory, but they generated the greater attacking threat across large periods of the clash, registering a 2.55 xG to their opponent's 0.29. Vincent Kompany's side reached their 15th win in 16 games in all competitions, while Leverkusen failed to score for the first time in 42 DFB Pokal matches, which ended with Bayern Leverkusen loss, Bayer Leverkusen 0, Bayern Munich 2, and Bayern Munich advanced to the DFB Pokal final. And now we finally move to the Ligue 1 fixture. This time we focus on the league fixture between Paris Saint-Germain and Nantes, which ended Paris Saint-Germain 3, Nantes 0, as Kvaratskhelia double sends host 4 points clear in the table. Khvicha Kvaratskhelia was the star of the show for Paris Saint-Germain as they returned to winning ways in Ligue 1 with victory over Nantes. Paris Saint-Germain opened a 4-point gap to Lens in the Ligue 1 title race as Kvaratskhelia brace helped to seal a comfortable 3-0 win over Nantes on Wednesday. After missing the chance to pull clear of the second place at the weekend following a defeat to Lyon, PSG returned to winning ways to edge closer to retaining their top-flight crown. Parc des Princes was on its feet in the 13th minute after Ali Youssef was adjudged to have handled the ball inside the area when challenging Marquinhos for a header, with a spot kick awarded after a VAR review as Kvaratskhelia coolly dispatched from 12 yards. Ousmane Dembele continued PSG's fast start as his shot at the near post was thwarted by Nantes captain Anthony Lopez, but Luis Enrique's side doubled their tally soon after. A sweeping counter led to Achraf Hakimi cleverly slipping Desiree Doué in behind, with the Frenchman taking a touch before firing a sensational effort into the top left corner. The Parisians ended the first half with an ascendancy as Dembele ripped the side netting, and it took them just 5 minutes after the restart to take the game fully beyond Nantes. Having collected Dembele's pass from the edge of the area, Kvaratskhelia brilliantly danced beyond Youssef and Frederic Gulbert before curling the ball home with a plump. Kvaratskhelia almost bagged the match ball on the hour but saw his header from Seni Mayulu's corner tipped onto the crossbar by Lopez, with Fabian Ruiz also denied the woodwork moments later after his deflected attempt hit the right post, with PSG seeing out the match with ease. That's full-time score on the Ligue 1 fixture. PSG 3, Nantes 0. PSG move out the table and extend their points above Lens. And this marks the Wednesday night Elite Fixtures football review. And we continue this week with the another fixtures in what the league upholds for us. The Premier League, La Liga, and so forth. But until then, take care and good night.